Dub Nation, before we jump into today's show, as you can see, we're getting closer and closer to the Lakers report in total subscribers, two of our biggest NBA channels here at Chat Sports. I think there's a chance here at Warriors Today we could beat the Lakers report to 50,000 subscribers. About 4,500 behind, which sounds like a lot, but it was over 10,000 a short time ago. So help us out, subscribe to the channel, and we will continue to bring you the latest Warriors news and rumors on a daily basis. You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I hope you stayed cool enough because down here in Texas, it is hot as can be, as are these rumors that we're going to cover here on Warriors Today. So let's get into it. Kent Bazemore, who remains as a free agent, was recently working out with Steph Curry. Bazemore spent the 2020-21 season with the Warriors, but wanted a bigger role, signed with the Lakers last year. Did not work out, actually played less and had less of an impact than he did with Golden State just a couple of years ago. He remains unsigned at this point in NBA free agency. You see the photo on Bazemore's IG story from a day or two ago saying iron sharpens iron, and there is Steph Curry stretching or just chilling with Baze after the workout. Hard to tell if that's before or after. Now, as far as the idea of actually bringing him in, vet minimum guy, you got a couple of roster spots to work with. He's certainly older, not peak Bazemore, what he was doing, with the Atlanta Hawks 4 or 5 years ago. But I think, at the back end of your roster, 13th, 14th man, you could do a lot worse than a guy like Kent Bazemore, who's played for a lot of winning teams for a lot of years in the NBA. So what do you think? Should the Warriors bring back Kent Bazemore? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down in the comment section of this video. You look at Bazemore's past 2 years. Last year with LA, you see on the right side of your screen, he didn't play well, right? 3.5 points, less than a couple of rebounds. Couldn't shoot the ball that well. Was okay from three, but from two-point range, he was even worse. Played just 14 minutes per game, only played in 39 games total. 2 years ago with Golden State, a team that was in the play-in tournament, actually had a decent role. 20 minutes a game, over 7 points, shot 45% from the field, 41% from three. Actually played fairly well. His splits were pretty solid as a 3-and-D type of player, but there's no doubt he flopped in LA last year. Now, a lot of guys flopped in LA. That whole thing was a mess and it didn't work, so I don't know if we can just automatically say, well, Bazemore's cooked. The season before, he was still a productive bench player. I think there's at least a chance he can get back to that and at worst be a solid veteran presence, on the deeper part of your bench. I think he could do a lot worse than Kent Bazemore. Now, you think of it this way, too. Andre Iguodala might retire. So I'll ask you this question. Who would you rather have? Type KB for Kent Bazemore, AI for Andre Iguodala. I would lean Iggy, but if he walks, that's a couple of key defenders you've lost this offseason. And Iguodala, Gary Payton II, and Otto Porter. A guy like Bazemore could help cover that up. Who would you rather have? I'd pick AI, but KB's not a bad option either. Other Warriors news that dropped over the weekend, Trevion Williams has signed on an Exhibit 10 contract. He went undrafted in the 2022 NBA draft before playing with the Celtics Summer League. Charania had the news late on Friday night. Undrafted Purdue center Trevion Williams has agreed to a deal with the Golden State Warriors, sources tell The Athletic at Stadium. Exhibit 10 contract to compete for a roster spot for Williams, who averaged 7.4 points, 6.6 rebounds in 14 minutes in the Summer League for Boston. Good college player. I didn't know if he'd get drafted or not. He did not. The NBA fit is questionable because he's about 6'10", 260 pounds, so he's bulky and big, but he's not a 7-footer, so he's not a great shot blocker. And he doesn't expand to the three-point line that well. You look at his numbers from Purdue last year, 12 points, 7.5 rebounds, efficient around the basket. Yeah, the three-point percentage doesn't look bad, but that's less than half an attempt per game, so he doesn't shoot them that often. Maybe if he can develop that over time, he's got a chance to stick in the NBA as a backup center. The good news for Williams is he's got a player currently on the Warriors roster that I think he can look at and say, that could be me. And that is Kevon Looney, who doesn't shoot the ball from the outside, is about 6'9". Trevion Williams is 6'10", so an undersized center that doesn't shoot, but just a worker, a guy who worked on his defense, his body, rebounding. I think Trevion Williams, if he could shed a little bit of weight, could be a Kevon Looney type of player down the road. Now, I'm not saying he'd be a 25-minute, 30-minute per game starter, but a Kevon Looney light type of guy, a guy who just his strongest skill set really is his work ethic, and that's certainly been the case for Kevon Looney. Scrappiness, work ethic, rebounding, get the 50-50 balls. I think Williams could be that type of guy with the decent offensive arsenal around the basket. Now, grade the signing of Trevion Williams. Again, it's a non-guaranteed. He'll have to fight for a roster spot. A, B, C, D, or F. For an Exhibit 10 deal, I like it quite a bit. I'll give it a B. We'll see if he's able to scrape out a roster spot. Now, I'm inviting you guys to join the Noti Gang here at Golden State Warriors today. First step in doing that, again, subscribe to the channel. Let's catch up to the Lakers report. Step number 2, turn on those notifications. Only 18.5% of you guys have done so. We're trying to get that number to 20%, if not higher. That way you know exactly when we publish a video, so turn on that bell icon. And after you've done all of that, type Noti Gang down in the comments. We'll give you guys a shout out on a future video if you're a part of the Noti Gang here at Warriors Today. Follow those steps, turn on the bell, and then type Noti Gang down in the comments. No bromance. Does Seth Curry not want to team up with his brother in Golden State? He actually said, yeah, he's got no interest in doing that. He joined the Dubs Talk podcast recently and was asked this, and he answered it like this. I've thought about it as people bring it up, but to me, personally, I enjoy kind of being away from him, trying to create my own path and do my own thing. Number one, I've got a ton of respect for Seth Curry because not that it was easy for Steph, but Steph was just a more natural player. There wasn't that many doubts if he was going to at least make it in the NBA, first-round pick. The only really challenges he had to overcome were the ankle issues early on. Obviously, Steph put in a ton of work to become a Hall of Famer, but Seth did not have the talent of his brother, and he's become a solid pro over time. You kind of look at his journey, his first 6 years in the NBA, in and out of the G League early on, and then kind of has a solid year with Portland. His first stint in Dallas was pretty good, but 9 points per game, always a good shooter there, and 21 minutes overall. But then the last 3 years, he's really established himself as a quality starter and, really good rotation player. Over 13 points, 48% from the field, 44% from three, 29 minutes per game. I mean, he's played a key role for key teams in the playoffs the past couple of years. Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Dallas. He's been a guy that teams can rely on. One of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. Selfishly, I wish he'd change his mind. I'd like to see him play with Steph in the Bay starting as soon as next year. He does have 1 year left on his contract, but he is set to be a free agent next summer, so who knows? Maybe he could change his mind on this. Maybe he'd be willing to catch passes from his brother and shoot 45% from three in the Bay. He could certainly fit in really well with Golden State, but I do have a lot of respect, because it's hard to be in the shadow of a Steph Curry, but he's done a good job of carving out a name for himself and having a nice little career as well. We'll see if their careers ever pass each other in Golden State or elsewhere. Don't think it'll be elsewhere because I think Steph is a one-team guy. Will Steph and Seth ever play together? Type P for play, type W for won't. Seth says it won't happen, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. Predict it for us down below. All right, that's it for Golden State Warriors today. Like I said, hit that sub button. Let's catch the Lakers report sooner rather than later. Turn on that notification bell. That way you can stay in the know when we publish videos as well. I am Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon here on Warriors Today.